Hello, everyone. I am Nick Zetouni, Head of Operations from Next Generation EduCare. And I am here today to talk a little bit about data science. Kind of obvious after all those days and hours that you spent in the conference, right? But I would like to give it a nice spin. And that spin is block coding, as you can see in my screen. This is going to be very introductory to the basic concepts on how data science basically exists in your world around you and how it even helps you as a person, your brain, to make decisions on your regular day. And just as a bonus, we're going to be using Scratch and we're going to be creating a video game out of it together. All right. So for all of you who would like to try Scratch eventually one day, in case you never have done any block coding in your life, I am going to leave the link here on the chat. So feel free to go in. It's free and you guys can learn a lot about block coding. So let's get started. Let me just get into a new project here. All right. And this is basically what you guys are going to be seeing once you start playing with Scratch. So our game will be very simple. We are going to create a few patterns, let's put it that way, of objects falling from the sky all the way here up top. We're going to allow the cat to move back and forth, and you, the player, will be the one controlling the cat. And then we're going to be giving some numbers to some of your objects. Numbers that are going to be positive and numbers that are going to be negative. And then in that game, we're going to have to understand data science of that game and how that can, again, be seen in your life, right? So come with me. I'll navigate you guys step by step on what you need to do, all right? But first things first, if it's your first time using Scratch, in this left-hand corner here, this is where you're going to be finding all the codes, all right? And here in this white area, it's where we're going to be basically dragging and dropping our codes, like I'm doing right now, all right? All you got to do is select the code that you want and bring into the white area. If you want to delete, all you got to do is the opposite. Okay? So there are a few things that we need to prepare before we go and start coding and going crazy. As I like to say, preparation is the most important thing when you're going to go any kind of science, coding included. All right? So I would like to play with 4 objects. And objects on Scratch are called sprites. And here in this little cat face icon is where we can add our sprites. So we're going to basically add 4 sprites to our game. And I want them to be objects overall. Things that you believe that are good for you or things that might not be so good for you, right? For example, I'm going to get cheesy puffs. I love cheesy puffs. I actually had some cheesy puffs last night as a snack. But cheesy puffs are not that healthy, right? So let's look for something that is healthy, like a fruit platter, or even better, no, there's a fruit bowl somewhere here. Let's look for a fruit bowl. There we go, fruit salad. All right. And now we need to get 2 things that are not so good for us. For example, let's just get a lightning. I think there's a lightning here somewhere. There we go. No one wants to be struck by lightning, right? Not a great idea. And let's make sure to get something that is also not so great for us to be in touch with. Let's just say a mouse. As you might know, some mice can carry diseases, so they're not very good for us. All right? Okay. So we have our four objects, quote unquote. We have our cheesy puffs, we have our fruit salad, we have lightning, and we have mouse. And of course, we have our regular character here, that is the cat. If you touch on your sprites with the mouse and you move them around, they're going to be basically staying on that position. All right. And we need to start to give those sprites a location to stay. All right. So, for example, I want my cat to start all the way down here. Okay. And then I want my objects to stay all the way here up top. Not a big deal, randomly. So that's a great start. Second is we need to play with the size of the objects. I think that for this small white screen that we have here, some of our objects are a little too big. So I think the fruit salad has a good size. So let's try to change all the other objects to be in a similar size to the fruit salad. All right. How to do that, Nick? Very simple. We have a little field here that's called size. And this is at 100%. 100% regular size. So let's try decreasing that number a little bit. Let's think of a number that is smaller than 100. Let's go for 80. And there we go. I think we can decrease it a little bit more. Let's go for 70. Beautiful. Now we're going to select lightning. And let's try and change the size again to 70. I think even smaller. Let's go with 50. There we go. Beautiful. And finally, the mouse. Let's go with 80 for the mouse. Yes, that works for me. Beautiful. All right. So we have the design almost ready. We need to pick up a background, right? Every game has some kind of a background scenario where your storyline will be in. So why don't we get ourselves a background? Super simple. All you got to do is go all the way down here in what they call a choose a backdrop icon. You're going to be brought to this beautiful multitude of backdrops. And just because it's something that we all have in common, let's get some school. But again, you can pick whatever backdrop you want, whatever suits your games and your objects. There we go. Now we have a beautiful backdrop all ready to go. We have all our sprites ready to go. And all we gotta do is start coding so we can finally get into the data science part. We need to start with the cat, all right? So we're gonna get here to the cat, and we're gonna get what we call controllers. We need specific code that will do something when we press a button, all right? Those little guys are here on events, on the yellow codes. So I'm going to click it in here, and I'm going to look for this little code here that says when space key pressed. And I'm going to add 2 of them, okay? And then I'm going to change. I am going to put left, click here on space, and then I'm going to put right. What that code means, my friends, is that something will happen when we press the left arrow and when we press the right arrow. All right? What we can get here in motion, and we are going to get this little code here called change X by 10. We're going to get 2 of them. All right. 1 here and 1 here. And we got to change those numbers a little bit. All right. So left is what we call a negative number. And I'm going to increase it a little bit. So minus. And right for us on Scratch is a positive number. So we're just going to put 20. Okay. Let's try. Let me make my screen big for you guys here. Now, every time I press my left arrow, my cat moves. Every time I press my right arrow, my cat moves. So there we go. We created the controller for the cat. All right. Now, we need to start coding all the other objects to fall. Let's just say that there's someone all the way here in the ceiling throwing things at our poor cat. Things that can be good, that will make the cat happy, and things that are not going to make the cat super happy. All right? What we're going to be doing is what most coders do. We're going to be coding one object. Let's just say that we're going to be coding the cheesy puffs here. All right? And then we are going to copy and paste that code into all the other objects, into the lightning, the fruit salad, and the mouse. Sounds good? How would you get started? We need a code that tells us that this is starting. It's like when you're playing a video game and you need to press the start button. All right? And this is again here on the yellow code, the very first code that you guys can see that says when the green flag is clicked. Dragging one here. And since this game is not going to be set up for a beginning and an end, it's literally just a game for you guys to have fun. We want the events of the fruit, of the mouse, of the lightning to be happening all the time. And those are what we call loops. We can find loops in the control code part of here, the orange one. And we have two types of loops. A repeat loop, that one event, like the cheesy puffs falling, they will repeat a given number of times, 10, 20, 5, you pick. Or we have what we call forever, all right? And forever is literally, as the name implies, forever. So it will happen all the times, every time. All right. And then I'm going to bring a little code here just to make this game a little more appealing in terms of looks. I'm going to go here to looks, and I'm going to get this code here called hide. Just to give a little bit of a surprise for the player that will not know when the object will fall. All right. And since I don't want my objects to be falling, all of them at the same time, I'm going to get a code that is wait. All right. Sorry. And I'm going to put right here under hide. But this code is just telling us to wait for 1 second. And I want it to be variable. We can go all the way here to operators. And there is this little guy here called pick random. And all we're going to do is to put pick random from the inside of this white bubble here. And snap it together like that. All right. So our objects, before they start falling, they're going to wait basically from 1 to, I think 10 seconds, a little too much. So let's put 5 seconds. All right. Next part is we need to make sure that the objects will be randomly positioned here on the top. Just so the fruit bowl doesn't fall always in the same area. We want them to be randomized. We want them to be chaotic, just to have a little challenge on the game. All right. So we're going to go here to motion. We're going to get this little code here called go to. And we're going to be putting it under here. Now, if you never learned about this before, in mathematics, x and y will represent basically left and right for x and up and down for y. I really don't want my y to change. I think that my y all the way here, it's fine. And Scratch gives us each object y. See, the cheesy puff is at 140. So I say that 140 is fine. But the x, I want x to go all the way from this corner to the other corner. And luckily, Scratch does allow us to use random again. So again, we're going to go here, pick random, put it in here, and the maximum is actually here, literally on the corner, is close to minus 240. I'm just going to put 200 because why not? And here the same thing. This is going to be 240 positive, so I'm just going to put 200. All right. Then I'm going to go to looks. That's when my object will show. Then I want my object to slowly fall down. How do we do that? Go to motion, and then we get this little code called glide. Go to, like this code here, is an instant teleportation. It's I'm here, now I'm here. Glide is a smooth motion, like you're walking. Okay, so I'm going to get glide. I will say glide, the time is going to be how fast, the objects will fall. So it's going to take 3 seconds for the object to fall all the way from the top, all the way to the bottom. All right. But I want the X position, again, the left or right, to be the same. That's when we get this one here. All right. And I want the object to go all the way down. Same thing, I'm going to use minus 200. As soon as the object hits the ground, I want it to hide. And I want it to wait the same way it was before, from 1 to 5. We finished the code of our objects falling, of our food falling. All right. Just to explain to you, basically, when I click the green flag, something will happen all the time. What is it? First, the object will become invisible. Then the object will wait basically from 1 to 5 seconds to go to a random location all the way here on the top. All right. And then the object is going to appear, and then the object will slowly go down. Once the object hits the ground, it will hide. It will wait from 1 to 5 seconds, and this instructions, this code will repeat over and over again. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how this will look. So we coded the cheesy puffs. So green flag. Look at that. It's falling. It disappears. Wait from 1 to 5 seconds, and it appears again. Wait from 1 to 5 seconds, and it appears again. As you see, it's always going in random positions in this little area here. All right. And that's what we wanted. So now that we know that the code for the cheesy puffs are good to go, all we got to do is copy and paste this code to all the other objects. How to do that, Nick? Super simple. You click, hold your click, and drag all the way to the other sprite. As soon as you see it wiggling, let me just zoom out a little bit here. See how it wiggles? Once it wiggles, that's when you can release your mouse button. And you have your code here on the fruit salad. Nothing here on lightning. Click drag and drop. Now we have code on lightning. Click drag and drop. And we have the code on mouse. Okay, let's see what happens. And now you see the objects falling randomly. And you can move your cat back and forth in the game just like we coded. Alrighty? This concludes the very first part of our beautiful tutorial. All right. I will give you guys a few minutes if you want to ask any questions, if you have, any suggestions. And after those minutes, I will continue. So please write something on the chat and I will answer whatever questions you might have. All right, I'll give you guys a few more seconds. Alrighty. So again, if you guys have anything that you want to suggest, if you want me to slow down, please leave a comment. I will definitely slow down or speed up or give more challenges, whatever you prefer. All right. Okay. So let's go back to our cat. Our cat doesn't have a lot of code yet. He only has a code to go back and forth. But this is a game, and we need to talk about data science, right? So we will then bring numbers into this game, understanding what's gonna be best for you, for the cat, for your sprite. All right. And in order to do that, we need to create something that we call a variable. All right. How we create variables, Nick? All the way here in this little circle, kind of like a darker orange, called variables. And then we're going to create our own variable. Variables can be used as counters. They can be used as a scoreboard. They can be used as in a specific position. Variables are literally anything that you can use, that you can think of in order for you to have a trackable number. And data science is all about that, right? It's all about numbers. So let's make a variable and let's call it happiness. All right. There we go. So I want to set my happiness to 0 every time I start the game, but I also want to change my happiness. And the happiness level will be different from each object. Like me, personally, if I am hit by a bowl full of cheesy puffs, I'll be super happy. If I am hit by a bowl full of fruit, I will be happy. But if I'm hit by a mouse, I don't think I'm going to be super happy. I'm not going to be happy at all if I got hit by a lightning, right? So we're going to have to play with numbers, and those numbers will represent how happy you're going to be every time an object touches the cat. All right. So let's get one variable here. You can just duplicate them or get more of those guys here. Okay. And we're just going to set them aside here for now. And I'm going to go here to events when the green flag is clicked. And every time the green flag is clicked, my happiness will reset to 0, like starting a new game. All right? So now we're going to have to create a big code. Kind of scary, but my friends, it's literally a repetition of the same very first code that we're going to be doing. Okay? And I will show you step by step. So first things first, again, this game is happening forever. So we need to get a forever. And forever is here. All right? Now we're going to be adding a lot of what we call if then else statements inside the forever loop. What are those if then else statements or conditional statements? Super simple. It's like when your mom or dad tell you you're only gonna have dessert if you eat your dinner. So there's a condition. In order for you to have dessert, you need to finish your dinner. So if you don't finish your dinner, there is no dessert. And that's basically what conditional statements or if then else statements do in a code. You're gonna set up a condition. If that condition happens, something else will happen. If that condition is not met, it doesn't happen, then something else will happen. All right? Where to find it? Pretty simple. We will then get a if little diamond here, then, okay? I'll just move it outside to make it a little easier for you guys, okay? And then first things first, I'm gonna need my condition to be touching. Where is touching? Here on sensing. Sensing, you're gonna get the very first guy here, touching mouse pointer. All right. We can leave it mouse pointer right now, not a big deal. And then we're gonna change happiness. We don't need to do anything else, right? And then we're gonna go to wait. And just so we don't keep getting points every time, every microsecond the object is touching the cat, we're gonna ask it to wait for example, 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds or 3 seconds. It doesn't matter, whatever you want. All right? Now I need 4 of those. So how we can do this? We can literally duplicate it. You right click, duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we need to change a few things. Instead of mouse pointer, let's start with something bad. Lightning. Every time a lightning hits me, I want my happiness to be -10. Every time a mouse touches the cat, I want -5. Every time the fruit salad hits me, I want my happiness to go up by 5. And every time the cheesy puffs touch me, we go by 10. Let me show you what happens. Now, the goal of the game is to literally touch things. See, my happiness all the way up here on the top is increasing or decreasing. If I get cheesy puffs, I get +10. If I get a mouse, I get -5. If I get a lightning, I get -10. If I get a cheese puff, +10. Fruit salad, 5. I don't want to touch those guys. I want to keep happy, right? I'm going to get 10 extra points for getting my cheese bowls and 5 points for getting my fruit bowl. And now I want to get a mouse, and then I lose 5. And then I get 10 for touching the fruit bowl, or the cheesy puffs, sorry. And that's how the game works. Before we continue, I see that we have 2 questions here. Just give me a second. I will answer them. First questions. How do you make it so that something happens when the cat is hit? That's an excellent question. All right. So let's just say that you want the cat to spin like crazy every time he is hit by a cheese puff. All right. So I'm going to go here on my repeat. Okay. I'm going to go here on my motion. And I'm going to, for example, turn 15 degrees, but I'll just want to switch it to 36, for example. And I'm going to ask it for wait. Let's just say 0.5 seconds. Okay, so every time my cat is touching my cheesy puffs, my happiness is going to change by 10. And this little guy, it's going to be spinning like crazy. All right. Just to show you guys quickly how that's going to work. Cheese puffs. And he's back. Nick, but that is too slow. I want it faster. 0.1. Let's maximize. Okay. In Scratch, usually if you want something to happen in a faster pace, all you got to do is to decrease the timer. Let's just put it that way, that it has. Can we do more? Of course we can do more. Let's just say that you want your cat to change size, to become smaller and then become bigger again. So all we got to do is we're going to get a repeat. We're going to get repeat 5 times, and then we're going to duplicate this. Okay. And then we want -10. So every time, for example, the lightning hits the cat, he's going to get super small and then going to get big again. Let's try to get a lightning here. Lightning. Nick, but that's too fast. I want it to go slow. Not a problem. Again, add a little bit of a weight here. All right. Let's try to get a lightning. Okay. Nick, can I make a sound? Of course you can make a sound. I don't think you guys are going to be able to hear me, my sound here from my computer, but all you got to do is to go on sounds, and then if you want to add newer sounds, you can go here. It's kind of like adding a sprite, but you can select many sounds that Scratch has ready and available to go, right? I'm going to keep meow. And then every time I get a fruit salad, my cat will do a meow. And I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to listen to it, but if it happens to me, I'll let you know. I just heard the cat meowing. And finally, Nick, what about the mouse? Let's just say that you want your, let's see here, what can we do? Let's just set the color effect by 25%. And then we want to do this 4 times to go back to 100. And we want it to wait for 1 minute. And then you go all the way to the mouse. And now let's see what happens when we touch the mouse. Every time you touch the mouse, the cat changes its color. And of course, it loses points. So those are some of the few examples of how you can play around with the cat every time the cat is hit by something. All right. Next question here is, can you edit the look of the sprite? Yes. Every sprite is editable to some extent. The ones that look like cartoony, like the fruit salad, the sprite, the lightning, and the mouse, you can pretty much edit all of them. The ones that look like pictures, like the fruit bowl, they're not easily editable. Let's try to edit our lightning. All you gotta do is go here to costumes. All right. And then this is gonna bring you to some sort of paintbrush, if you ever played paintbrush in your life. And then you can pick the right tools. You can pick whatever color you want. And then you can literally paint. You can erase. You can draw anything that you really want. Right? So we don't want any of that. We want our lightning to be the same. So I'll just go back to how it was. And that is basically it for this quick little game. There's another question, which is how to do a game over, but I want to talk a little bit about data science first. And please leave your comments. I'll give you guys some time to answer, to see if you guys are, on the same track as I am or not. So let me bring all the objects here. Let me, make all my objects visible. Okay. So lightning, this mouse is falling all the way there. Mouse, come on, help me out here, bud. Help me out here. I want this to go to yeah, good. And fruit salad, let's just go with there we go. Okay, so we basically got 4 objects. Let me maximize this. From all the points that we attributed, okay, the points that we gave to them, let me show you again here in the cat. If I get touched by lightning, I get -10. If I get touched by a mouse, I get -5. If I am touched by a fruit salad, I get +5. And if I get touched by cheesy puffs, I get +10. Data science question for you guys. From those 4 things that can touch the cat, which one is the best, the better, the thing that makes the cat the happiest? 30 seconds for you guys to answer. There we go. Yeah, we got one answer there. A few more seconds. Beautiful. Yep. And both of you are right. Yes, the cheese puffs are the ones that will make the cat the happiest. All right. And you guys know that because 10 is bigger than 5, that is bigger than -5, that is bigger than -10. That's basic data science there, friends. You discover events. You translate them into numbers. You see what numbers are better for you or for your experiment or for your, I don't know, if you're a marketing person, if for your public, for your parents. And once you see that you're accumulating more positives than negatives, that's the type of event that you want it to happen. That's all data science is about. It's about finding events, finding numbers, finding things that are positive, and you continue to reproduce, or you put a lot of effort into making those events to happen. All right. Before we continue, in all those cases, which one would you prefer to be touched? Do you think you would like to be touched by a mouse and get -5? Or would you like to be touched by the fruit salad and get +5? 30 seconds. So again, my question is, what would you rather be touched by? A mouse or fruit salad? There we go. I see some fruit answers coming. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lightning blessed by Thor. Wouldn't we all like that? Yep. And you guys are right. Data science, sometimes, my friends, it's not about getting the best result. Sometimes it's getting some result. All right. Unfortunately, we live in a world and we are taught by our teachers, family, friends that it's either 100% or nothing. And data science doesn't really work that way. Sometimes getting a +5 is much better than not getting a -5. Overall, in a specific period of time, when you observe those numbers, as long as you go into the positives, it's better than to end in the negatives. Classic example of that for data science is on the finances world. You want to be making money. Sometimes you will lose money, which is fine, as long as at the end of the month you have more money than the money you spent. That means you're still in the positive. That means that whatever behaviors you're doing, they are actually working towards you. All right. Okay. So answering a few questions here. So friend Timothy, you said that every time you touch a cheese puff or fruit salad, your happiness increases. But if you touch a lightning or mouse, it doesn't change. So you need to have this little code here. All right. I'll remove the animations just to make this thing a little smaller. Just give me 1 second here and easier for us to navigate. All right. And display sound here. Yeah. Okay. So let me just put this away. All right. So in your code, friend Timothy, all you got to do is you need to have the variable change. All right. Change happiness. And then on lightning and mouse, you need to have negative numbers. All right. So that's why the easiest way I showed you guys is you have your code ready to go, and then you duplicate it 4 times, and then you put all of them together inside your forever loop. All right. But basically, lightning, mouse, fruit salad, and cheesy puffs, they need to have a change happiness block, and each and one of them with their own positive and negative values. Let me know if that works. All right. Now, Marian Whitney said that if she was a cat, a mouse would make you happy. And this, Marian, is very, very, very bright of you. And it's very important because data science relies a lot on specific needs. If I want to do data science to discover what is the favorite food of all children out there, chances are we're going to stop in pizza, right? But there will be kids from North America. There will be kids from where I am from Brazil. There might be kids from India. There might be kids from China. Each and one of them will have a different taste. They would prefer, I don't know, spring rolls over pizza in China. They might prefer, which is the case in Brazil, we have little finger food that we call salgadinhos. They will prefer salgadinhos over pizza. So it's very important for you to specify your question before you go into getting the numbers and seeing what they're going to bring you. And this question is, what is the favorite food of all children in the world? Or what is the favorite food from children in Brazil or in US? Or even what is the difference between the favorite food in Brazil versus Canada. And then you're going to have to, of course, investigate that. And that is part of the profession, right, of any data scientist in the world. Asking the right question is much, much more important than just running the numbers like crazy without knowing what you're doing. So, beautiful comment, Marian. Thank you very much. So, and to finish here, if you guys have more questions, please just let me know. All right, just put everything in there. I will answer them as soon as I can. But our friend Rosen Winkles asked me how to make a game over like screen. Okay, so we're gonna have to add a new backdrop. All right, very simple. I'll just get like a backdrop that's easy to edit. For example, here, light. All right. Then we're going to go here to clicking in the backdrop, going here in this tab here that's called backdrop. All right. Getting this little text to here, changing it to black, for example. And then we're going to write game over. Okay. Oops. And we're good to go. I'm going to make this bigger. And I'm going to bring this to the middle. Okay. So now we need conditions. What needs to happen in order for you to go to game over? Let's go back to the cat. Let's create a new set of code here just to make this a little bit more organized. All right, we're going to do the same thing. When the green flag is clicked, forever, happening all the time, we're going to get an if then else statement. All right. And then we're going to get this little guy here from operators. And we're going to get this little diamond shape here with two white spaces and an equal. All right. Let's go to variables. Let's get happiness. Okay. So if happiness equals, I don't know, -20, then we're going to go to looks. And then we're going to say change backdrop to light. And we also want everything to stop. And that's when we're going to put stop all. But then every time you're going to start the game, I want everything to start fresh. So I need, when I click, I want my backdrop here to school. I want my cat to go to a specific position. I want X0 and yeah, -127. This is good to go. And now we see if this is going to work or not. Okay, there we go. So let's try to get to -20. Oh. Seems we have a debugging problem, friends. Our objects are not falling. Maybe because of the stop all that I put in here. So let's just remove the stop all for now. There we go. Boom, game over. Okay, and that's when you make your game over to happen. And if you want to stop all the other animals, then we would have to do a little bit more coding to make sure that this would go in a nice way. And I don't think we have a lot of time to explain that to you guys. It's almost time for us to stop. But I'll give you a hint. All we got to do is broadcast this, a message 1. And then when you receive message 1, for example, you just hide, for example. And then you do that to all the other sprites just to ensure that they are going to be stopping every time message one is received. Sounds good. We still have a few more minutes before we finish, my friend. So I am open for questions if you have any. Well, if there are no questions, my friends, I would like to thank you all for being here. I really, really hope that you enjoy this little game and the knowledge that this can bring to data science. Again, sometimes when we see those new concepts out there, like, oh my God, Internet of Things, data science, etc., they might sound extremely big and difficult to even understand. But truth is, they are very simple if you start from the beginning. And I hope with this very, very simple happiness game, what makes the cat happier, right? Or you, if you're a person, you can get this little understanding of what data science really thrives for, right? It thrives to find good results. It looks at behaviors, it looks at people, it looks at population, it looks at what happens, and then tries to draw a conclusion based on numbers or, well, or in this case, versus your own gut feeling, right? Our brain does our own data science pretty much automatically, but it's very biased, let's put it that way. And data science tries to remove that bias from the equation to give you raw numbers with raw results, things that you can really trust rather than, I think this is right because I am happy, kind of a thing. So thank you. Hope that you guys continue enjoying the conference, and I'll be seeing you in another lecture workshop during the conference. You guys have a good one. Bye bye. You guys are very welcome.